Hey guys, Demi here from Atlas Vibrations, and I am here with your new Supermoon in Pisces collective update. And we have a lot going on right now. I feel that, and I want to ask you guys, how are you feeling? Because Pisces is all about the emotions, and it rules and governs and takes in every single zodiac sign in the whole wheel. And there is, talks about how Pisces is the end of the end of the zodiac, but I feel that no matter what and was told, no matter what part you start in on the wheel, it has an ending. It's a circle. It's a cycle. Just like in our universal laws, we talk about how everything moves in cycles and circles, and it always comes back in some way. So it really doesn't matter, but in the way that the wheel is set up, it is set up in modern day that Aries is the beginning and Pisces is the ending. And that's where I believe that this particular sign is governed by water and aether. Because Pisces, it rules it rules water. It's a feminine sign. It rules healing in some ways on a soul level, on a deep level, because Pisces, I feel, rules the soul and anything beyond what we can see, like the subconscious. That when you dream, that's why Pisces rules dreams. In tarot, it is ruled by the major arcana. The moon is ruled by Pisces, and also Neptune as well rules Pisces. And so this sign, it's very unique, it's very different. And if you guys know Pisces people, they're very emotional, they're very giving, they're very boundaryless. Pisces is a boundaryless sign. They flow, they can really easily go with the flow and move with the flow. And being that it is a water sign, it has its own moments where they, if you know Pisces, they need to learn boundaries within themselves, boundaries within other people, boundaries in general. This sign also does rule any kind of drug addiction. The energy calls for it. It also rules soul growth and the soul contracts that you make when you come in here. Because think about it, starting from the beginning all the way to the end of a cycle, death, birth to death, and death into the birthing cycle. And this sign is just very highly spiritual. It's all about the esoteric, anything, like I said, beyond the veil in which you can see. And that talks about ETs, to your spiritual practices, from doing tarot to the channeling of the messages, how you feel connected to source, how you feel connected to yourself and everything, because that's what this sign is. It is everything. It is the energy that connects the universe to everything else, to the first dimension, second dimension, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all the way up to the 13th or 14th, depending on where you believe our consciousness is at. But it is the connection and the energy that makes that energy bond together, and what is all is, and all of that stuff. And so this is why it rules the dreams. This is why you see when you go to sleep, that's why your soul is essentially dreaming, and it never rests. Like, that's your soul talking to you, depending on spirit is saying, once key again, what kind of medications you take, once again Piscean energy, how it affects your body and your soul. And it just calls for deep soul growth. You store every lifetime and every single experience you've had, whether you believe in this or not, whether ET or Syrian Pleiadian starseed systems, it stores in the body, and that is that Piscean energy. It is all about love. It is unconditional love. It is a sign that is so dreamy and romanticized and has this ethereal look to it. And this deck in general, and I know why it was called to use it, it has such Piscean energy. The shadow side of Pisces is, it can be very manipulative. It can be so boundaryless that it's so giving that, similar to its opposite of Virgo, where it doesn't understand boundaries, and it's so giving that it'll sacrifice things themselves and sacrifice their own peace and happiness for other people. and they can be very how do I say it, emotional, like overly emotional, crying, and very some I'm hearing like spirits even coming in seeing like narcissistic, because it literally takes every water sign from Cancer to Scorpio into Pisces as well, not just every zodiac sign. It's still considered in this modern day, like I said, part of water, but it can be so emotional that it's hard to deal with on a daily basis, and it may be hard for people like myself to an extent, if especially your moon sign, because it's a very strong sign in your zodiac chart, to work with that, because Piscean energies, it's really hard, especially in a society where we don't really feel emotions like we should, and we're beginning that healing journey. And so what we're seeing is new beginnings in all of these things that I have just talked about. You may be seeing new beginnings in dreams that you've had, new beginnings in things that your soul on a soul level really wants, and the feeling of your soul, what brings you happiness and joy. But it also is going to bring like a new beginning in an ending, and seeing where things need to end, seeing where your soul needs to grow, what's not resonating with you anymore, what chapters do you need to close, and kind of prepare for that new beginning, and kind of coming into your feelings and seeing where you need to essentially feel things through. It's a supermoon, so supermoons, this is going to be a very big, massive change. And the best way that I can explain this is, for those of you that know me personally and have heard me talk about this, I say it probably in almost every single video, but I'm going through my Saturn return. My Saturn return is ruled by Pisces in the 6th house at the 12th degree, and it's about to hit my chart in that area. So the best way that I can explain this to you is, I have had my whole life no boundaries in my daily life, and I'm gonna make a podcast episode about it at some point before it leaves my chart. But so this is new beginnings in my daily habits, new daily routines. And because the 6th house rules Virgo and Pisces rules that, so boundaryless, people pleasing, and seeing drugs and everything, I take a daily drug every single day. I have allergies, I have to take it. I was born without the natural DAO blocker in my system, so I have to take allergy medication every day. It's in my chart. Drugs, Pisces, and Virgo rules allergies, so I'm allergic to dogs. Like, it fits in there. And Pisces also rules the feet, so I'm also seeing like new health habits that I need to make in my daily life, from eating to all of the literal tangible things, and then also seeing on a soul level, so the spiritual part of it too. So new beginnings in, for me, work, how I do my spiritual work, what needs to change, what's coming up, the new ways that I need to do things. And then also, because 6th house rules co-workers, it's making me change the way that I view either people that I work with, or how I physically work with people on a daily basis, and teamwork, because that's what Virgo is. And that's the thing that it rules, and Pisces rules that. So it's subconscious cleaning, where I'm realizing there are some things that need to end. My diet needs to change. I'm going to more doctor's appointments. So as you guys see, you get the drift. It's one of those situations where it's like a big beginning, but also a massive ending at the same time, that needs to be changed. And I'm feeling it more deep because Saturn is in that house. It's in that physical house. So it just depends on where it is. So I highly suggest looking up in your birth chart and seeing where that sits. And this energy, I say nicely, it's not to be taken lightly. It's an energy that you're going to feel intense change, like not like, holy crap, Pluto, like Scorpio energy and transformation. Yes, it is transforming, but just keep in mind, this is something where you're either pulling up karmic things from your soul to begin again. You're learning that maybe your spiritual beliefs, or the way that you are spiritually within yourself, that needs to change, what your soul needs to change, what your intuition is telling you to do, and how you feel. So you're seeing like big things, and that's the key thing that Spirit's coming in and saying. It is a time to feel and make those changes. If you're sad about a situation, you're sad. Feel it. Cry it. Get rid of it, like if you need to do something, and how you feel. And I'm even asking, like, even with these changes with myself, and the best way that I can say this is, I have been called to change my diet for years, and did I listen? No. And now it's being called to be pull through, but I'm still upset about things because I realized that I was not taking care of myself the way that I should have been due to the underlying healthcare issue that I have just told you, and that my life is different, and so it's like a big massive new beginning with an ending, and I'm sad about it because I'm realizing I'm not like everybody else. I've never been like anybody else. I've always had to live my life differently. I've never met anybody who actually has been born without the natural DIO blocker in my system. I don't know, or in their system. I don't know anybody else. So I'm feeling through the sadness, the grief, the pain, the deep karmic things that are kind of coming up with it. And that's how you know you're going to initially make your change with this Piscean energy. So you're going to see where you're romanticizing things, where it's like you're not seeing things with the full picture and the rose-colored glasses. That's a Piscean shadow energy too. Seeing things for not what they truly are, not in the real thing, and kind of creating this mindset of, you know, oh my god, but like it's just, I'm so like, it's so good, and all seeing all the good and everything, and it can, and once you take the glasses off, you're like, wow, this is not how this is. And that's what's happening as well, seeing those new beginnings and where you've had the rose-colored glasses on and taking it off and making the changes and deeply rerouting and moving through. All right, so I don't know this deck very well. I have a few minutes left. I'm sorry that any god does not come in, but Neptune is kind of coming in and stepping in now and saying that, you know, this is the time to make the changes and to really sit with ourselves in feminine energy to make those changes, and knowing that it is what it is best for us. It's a very, once again, unique sign. He's saying a sign of duality where we may feel opposing forces, but those opposing forces give a symbolism sign of yin and yang, where you can't live with one, just one, you got to live with both. And that is the Piscean duality of understanding that, you know, you can't have the good without the bad. You can't, you know, I'm learning, have your cake and eat it too, and learning to move through that symbolism of death, dying, rebirth, the two halves of life and spirit, your soul on each side, but one can't live without the other. They're still attached, you know, in that way. So let's see, last but not least, what advice is that's already coming out? Clear waters. Yeah, my friends, it is time for us to start over new and to choose our own peace and to be in happiness in that peace and to choose the new things. I feel like a lot of us are going through clean slates to start over again and seeing where, once again, we need to wipe the slate fucking clean and just move through, and seeing that there are new things that we can do and create. And this is a great way to, they're saying, manifest things that, you know, are ending, like let those things end to let the new come in. I always say with new moons, especially with the supermoon, you're going to see new beginnings, but something needs to end, and the energy that holds up that space in your life needs to be removed. And we're still learning this, and I think this is coming up with this new moon. And the best practical action that Spirit says for us to take is the rite of passage. I hear move towards our truth, and it's time for us to put in the work to make the change, to see this new, to see these new beginnings. And like I said, I don't know this deck very well, but I'm going to read the affirmations. And it says, I will find a way through. I see the test as a markers of my own inner power and strength. And what final challenge am I now working through? And so it reminds us that we don't heal once, and that it comes through milestones and lessons. And so we need to just get on the wheel of life and understand that, you know, we can't just skate through on Piscean energy being high and boundaryless. We need to put in the work and understand that, you know, it heals. We go through healing just as anything else, and it feels intense, and Spirit saying they understand that, but it's going to move you towards literally, they're going clearer waters. And so that's beautiful. Okay? So I hope that this resonated with you, and until next time, namaste.